we're going to be taking care of some of my plants. I need to trim off some of the leaves. I need to fertilize them. I need to resupport some of them. So I'll be doing that. All right, let's go. I should leave this here. I don't need that right now. Okay, and there we go. Okay, so this is the first plant. It's a money tree. I decided to do this because I had some time in the evening and spring is around the corner, so let's go. So I'm gonna need a couple of different equipment. I'm gonna need gloves, shears or scissors or something to cut things with, and then I'm gonna need maybe something to tie things with. We don't know, maybe not for this one, but we'll see. Let me just go get whatever I have. All right, so put these on first. Now these are sanitized. I read online that you should sanitize your equipment, and I sanitized these before already. So let's get started. If you look at this, really interestingly, it looks like there's more things growing. It looks like it's growing from the bottom. If you look at the plant here, I don't know if you can see, at the bottom of this plant, there are new branches or new stems coming out of the base, which is really interesting. Now, this is a tall old one. I'm gonna have to let this one go. It's pretty much dead. Okay. This has parts of it which are dying. So I'm just gonna take that off. I don't think we need that. And I think the issue with this was during the winter, it was doing pretty good up until maybe the last third of winter. And I think that's around when I started to put a humidifier in the room that this plant was in. And the other plants were fine. They sort of thrived, but this one didn't, and it kind of started to wilt. The leaves started to wilt, and it kind of died. So I wonder if too much humidity is what caused this plant to suffer. I always thought that these plants loved humidity, but I guess we live and we learn. Now it's, you know, it is what it is. It's just been a process of learning how to take care of these plants. I mean, it's hard to know. I mean, obviously there are the basics such as light, humidity, adequate watering, not overwatering, you know, fertilizing, all that kind of stuff. But then there's other things which I learned about when I was learning about plants when I got them. And I read at one place, it said that, you know, if you have too many Wi-Fi signals or EM signals or waves flowing through your house, that actually affects plant growth. And I don't know, and I thought that was fascinating. I don't know if that's gonna have an impact on the plants that I have, because I don't know if it's a factor at all. But I thought that was really interesting. The base is kind of moist, so I think that's probably what's causing it to wilt and die. So I'll maybe move it to a more sunny but less humid area. So I think that looks good. Obviously these branches here, they're not perfect. And I'm wondering if I should trim, but maybe I'll leave it actually. It gives it character, you know? It's a thing that survived. So let me leave it like that. I think that's good for this one. So what I'm gonna do is I have this empty pot or planter, and I've got this at the bottom. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the plant on top of this, water it, let it drain out, and then I'll put the excess water in here. All right, so I've already mixed some plant food in here, because on the plant food that I have, it says to mix it with water before feeding your plants. I mean, you can put it dry as well, but this is just easier for me, so I'm gonna do that. Give it a nice. Also, this table is wood, and it's not stained, it's not protected in any kind of way, and I think that's kind of a problem. I shouldn't have. We're here anyway, so I guess it's okay. So I think that's enough. I don't think it's gonna leak, to be honest, because I only poured a very small amount. So that's it. That's the money tree. This is a rubber tree, or a Ficus elastica. I have two of these. This one's more of a tree form, and I think it depends on how it was grown. So I think if you notch it, it'll grow out from there, and I think this was grown in a way to give it more of like a tree kind of look. And then the one issue that I see every time I look at this plant is there are roots here which are exposed, and I think they're probably dead by now, but I'm wondering if I should just bury them. Bury them with more soil. Just bring the soil level up a little bit. Give it a good watering, and I think this one should be good. I don't think there needs to be anything trimmed off this. All right. Here is my container of soil. Hopefully I don't drop any between the... Oh, I dropped it, great. This is a soil mix that I've made on my own. It has well-draining soil, potting soil, and then I added 1 part perlite and 1 part reptibark. And that I find is a good, well-draining mix. And so that's kind of this soil. It's more of like a general all-purpose soil. Yeah, I think generally speaking, it's been quite rewarding actually to be able to take care of something. And this is not a thing that can give you feedback. A pet, like my birds that you can probably hear in the background, they give you constant feedback. If they're hungry, you will know. If they're upset, you will know. But plants are a lot more subtle, and you know, it's a different thing to care of. It's a different thing to take care of something that doesn't speak, that can't vocalize. So you have to be far more attentive, and it does take time away from a lot of different things if you have a lot going on. But you know, at the same time, it is a soothing hobby or thing to get into if you're interested in it. This is a 4-gallon. Is it 4 gallons? It's a 1 gallon watering can. Fill this out. Uh-oh. That's okay. That's no problem. I think it'll hold. Last year when I was getting into this, I fought off, and it was a huge effort to get rid of spider mite infections or infestations in some of these plants. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Just gonna go through here and see. Ooh, yep. I can see 1 web here. That could be a spider too. I think this is probably a spider web. It's kind of thick, and there's 1 strand, and it continues kind of from here to here to here. It's like 1 continuous strand. It's not like many different strands. It looks like it's been probably made by a spider. So I'll check these ones and these ones. So this is okay. No problem. That's good. I'll be right back with the next plant. Actually, while we're at it, I'm just gonna check this plant for mites as well. Might as well, missed it. So these look good. Just very quickly. So that's good. Next plant. This is a false monstera, I think it's called. It's the small one, or it's called Monstera ado something or other, but it's a small leaf version of it. It's kind of dehydrated, which is not great, and I should probably tie this up ASAP. I don't want to disturb it too much. It's growing pretty well. Yeah, but I will just tie this here. Okay, perfect. Not too much. Perfect. This is a really well-draining soil because I don't want this plant to die out. It's one of my favorites. Next plant. All right. Begonia maculata. And this is also one of my favorites. And what I think I'll need to do, because you can see here, it's kind of outgrowing the little bamboo pole that I have in here. So what I'll probably do is I'll probably put another stake in. Kind of like a moss pole, but it's not really. Grab this. I'm going to tie it to that bamboo that I have already. It has to be quite tight at the bottom, in my opinion, so it doesn't shake. I'll put this up, and I'll be using this guy to tie it. I think it should work just perfect. Easy, easy. Okay, now let's check for pests. I don't think there should be anything on here. This is also one of my favorites, so hopefully there isn't anything. Doesn't look like it. Everything looks nice. The soil's nice. There we are. This plant hobby got out of hand. There's a certain point last year where I was battling spider mite infestations across all my plants, and I was really worried about it, and I was worried about putting all this effort and time into something only for it to fail. And I think that's when I realized that, like, that's part of the fun. Like, you can't have fun if it was that easy. And I think that's part of what makes things enjoyable, is like the difficulty that you have when you're doing it, when you're partaking in whatever it is that you're doing. So it makes it enjoyable. So, you know, you hate it in the moment, but you learn to love it. You learn to love it. You learn to love all the little problems you have. Okay, so this is done. Going to be putting it back in the pot, and I'll be bringing on the next plant. This is an alocasia, I believe. And yeah, I think this is one of my favorite plants, but I'm gonna check it for spider mites. This was one of those plants that when I first got it, I loved it and I put it in my collection right next to the other plants, but that's when I realized that this is the one that actually had a really bad infestation. And the bottom side, the underside of these leaves, they were just completely covered in small little webs. And that's when I knew I was kind of screwed. But anyways, so here we have it. I think this is pretty good. This plant used to have 3 leaves. It went down to 1. Now it's back to 2. So I would say it did pretty well. I need to get better at managing the hydration and managing at the humidity. I think those are the 2 things I need to really pay attention to. And I gotta be honest, there are times when I'm not able to take care of the plants as well as I should. There are times when I water them every week and I look after them every week. I wipe down the leaves every week. There's some weeks where it's just too busy for me to do that, and I just forget. I'm trying to get better at that, you know. Yeah, you know, it really does give you perspective on how hard it is to nurture something. But yeah, let me just water this. Right. It's always interesting how people can gravitate towards different things, right? So my mom, she's somebody who really likes plants. She's always had plants, even when she lived in apartments and the conditions weren't ideal. She would have fake plants in the house everywhere, and I think I really did pick that up from her. And I'm glad I did, because you know, they really do make my day-to-day a lot more vibrant, actually, and they give a sense of life, and they're nice to look at. It make me feel calm. I don't know if there's something going on there with the things they release. I don't even know what I'm saying. I don't even think that's scientifically possible. But yeah, I just love them, and I'm glad that my mom instilled that into me. Appreciation for plants. But yeah, that's that one, the alocasia. Ta-da! Ta-da! Okay, next plant. I think these are also alocasias. I think they're called alocasia giant shields. I don't know. I thought they looked cool, so I got them. Today, I'm only gonna really take care, or not take care, but what I should say is what I'm gonna just sort of, oh my God, what am I saying? I can't talk. I'm just gonna take care of them, all right? So this needs to go. I'm gonna give it a drink of water. I don't see any on this guy. Now this one I can add some soil to. Not too much, just a little bit, kind of put that in, tap it down. Yeah, that looks good. All right, so I have a bunch of little plants. Now these little plants, they're not doing super well. So I need to take better care of them. All right, Those are 2 more. And then here's the last one. This one's also been struggling, but I think it's still alive. All right, so actually, before we move on, we're just gonna tidy up here a little bit. This is an aloe plant I got from work. Somebody at work was giving away plants and they had this. So I got it. It's growing a little bit better now. At one point it was really dry, but I'm having trouble growing this one, and I think I'm giving it what it needs. I water it properly. This little stem, this little growth here in the plant, it looks healthy. I just need to figure out how I can really boost its growth. I'm gonna do some research into aloe plants and see what they really require, but yeah. So what I'm gonna do is, I think it's okay in this container. I think it's quite big for its size. I'm just gonna give it a good watering, and I think it should be good. The problem that I had with this plant is when I got it, I just put it with the rest of my plants. I didn't really look into its specific needs, and that was not good because it prevented it from thriving in the way that I would have liked. So yeah, I think that's just a general rule of thumb of taking care of anything. Like, if you don't pay attention, you will not get the results that you want, or you won't get the best results out of that thing. It can apply to everything, whether it's, you know, taking care of anything, whether it's children, or, you know, a job that you have, or if it's your career path. That's what it meant by job. Like, if you have a career path, if you're not paying attention, if you're not in the moment, you're not going to be able to nurture it in the way that you require, that is required for success. Same thing goes with relationships and really anything else in life. And that's another thing that I like about these guys. They can really teach you a lot about stuff. Much like these plants, a lot of things in life don't give you direct feedback, you know? Like, your job isn't speaking to you directly in direct terms, telling you, hey, you need to do this, this, and this to, you know, progress, to succeed in your career. But you do need to pay attention to your career, and you need to be present in the moment. And I think, likewise, the same can be said about your relationships, whether it's family or otherwise. And yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why I've really learned to like this hobby, is because you can really, really learn a lot about life just by looking at the resonances between different things. And I think that's kind of a feature of life in general. Everything is it's a fractal. So everything is patterned in a way where you can learn something about this activity, but learning about growing plants will teach you about other things in life if you really do pay attention. That's cool. I never expected to get that out of, you know, taking care of plants. But yeah, so this is another one of my plants. I had high hopes for this one. This is a I don't know what this plant is called here. I should know these names. Why don't I know the names? Philodendron? Yes. But I've been trying to grow it, and I don't know what I can do to help it grow faster or better. I'm going to cut the leaf off. It's kind of dead. I'm going to add some soil in here. Gonna just pack it down around it. It's still alive because there's still a green stem coming out of it. I'm gonna give it a good watering. Again, this is in some well-draining soil mix. I think this one's gonna have nothing on it. It's too small to have leaves or really have a spider mite or any kind of mite or pest infestation. I mean, I can look at the soil here to see, and it looks pretty clear. So this guy is hard to kill. So it had many more stems or stalks or vines growing, but it's down to only one. And again, going back to what I was saying earlier, you have to be careful about the different requirements and really pay attention to them. But yeah, at least one stem is still alive here. And I hope to bring that back to life, maybe grow it further, have it branch off. Let's see where it can go. All right, I'm gonna just give it a good watering, quick watering. There we go. Kind of sad, one little thing left, but it is what it is. We live and we learn. Let me check the pest. Any pests on this guy? Any kind of webs or any kind of pests on the leaves, anything in the soil? Looks good. All right, next up, but I got this from IKEA. And this is actually a surprisingly hardy plant. And because I got this from IKEA at the time, this was like one of my first plants that I ever got. And I wasn't really sure about how to, I didn't really know all that went into taking care of plants. It is still alive, and going into this year, I'm gonna be paying closer attention to it. We're gonna water it. We can see there's actually three new leaves on it already, on the 3 different stems or shoots. I don't know plant terminology, guys, I'm sorry. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Pretty impressed by it. All right, I should not have done that. Let me get rid of the, all right. Good, all good. So that's that one. So here's one that I got from a grocery store. I'm sure you guys know what it is. I'm not even gonna pretend. I think this is one that can use some soil, because the soil is, it's kind of leaving, the plant is kind of leaving its place. Oh, okay, okay. Gotta check it for pests. In the soil, give it a good drink of water. Through this hobby and through other things in general, I noticed that if you can learn one thing really well, if you can master or if you can get really, really good at one thing, there's a high chance that you're going to get better at almost everything else. And that's a very, very peculiar thing, right? To me it is anyway, right? It speaks to a pattern. As I was saying earlier, there's a way that everything is patterned and everything is known. There's nothing new under the sun, nothing new. Even if something looks new, it's not new. And it seems like there are ingredients to whatever this is, whatever this existence is. There are ingredients that are used in different combinations, in different amounts, and that's how you get the reality that we have, you know. I know that's a kind of a weird thing to bring up while I'm trying to take care of my plants here, but it's something I thought about, so just thought I should throw that out there. It's something that I've been thinking about for a while too, actually, how everything is patterned, and how strangely some things are oddly familiar. And I think why some things resonate on a level which, like you can have 2 things which are very, very similar, or they are indistinguishable in what they are, meaning that you can have a good movie and then another good movie, and on the outset, they're both good movies. You watch them, you enjoy them both, but there is a meter, a level, which is not visible. There's a intangible quality to things which speaks to a greater truth, I think, that exists in everything. And the more true things are to the root, the more true things are to their source, the more we resonate with them. That can be said about everything and anything. And I know I'm not saying anything groundbreaking, but this is sort of a lot of what I've been thinking about these days, past 2-3 years really, is trying to really get to the meat and bones, meat and potatoes, trying to get to the meat and potatoes of my reality. But anyways, so those are the plants. All right, so put everything away. Thank you.